All right. Mic check, mic check, mic check. One Masters podcast, your host, main, of course. Look, this series, I don't know if it's a thinking aloud per se or if it's just a thank you. I'm not sure. So I do a series, and I say series because I've done more than one, where I pick a subject matter, a person, and I thank them through storytelling words, talking to them through them and through this lens. And I use examples of how they've taught me things they've shown me, what I saw them do. And it's like a tribute to them for any positive or any impact what they've done, said, or taught me has had on me. So that's a good synopsis of what this is. So, what? Because I see the title already, I'm gonna talk about the person. So, shout out to RJ. He's somebody I worked with since 2014. Right, I came on to this company around that time, and he was like a head honcho of a certain department, but the guy just knew so much stuff, like knowledge out this world. Like it was nothing within that building that he just didn't know or couldn't do or couldn't give him a couple minutes and he'll have an answer for you of how to do this, how to do that. Like I was enamored with his multitasking. I was enamored with his knowledge. I was enamored with how professional he was. I was enamored with how much he can train someone. Uh, he had his ways, right? Which I'm gonna get into in a minute. He had his ways, but just always was in complete awe just watching him, work and do the things he did without crying, complaining, none of that stuff. Like during this time, and this is before COVID, this is when retail was retail. It wasn't no everything wasn't so much computerized. Everything wasn't ran through the phone. Everything wasn't omni centric or based. Everything wasn't stats. It was just doing shit and seeing the results the next week. That's what it was, or the next day. That's what it was. Wasn't no live time results. So I wanted to give a synopsis of who he was, right? And I'll go into in detail a little more. So I also want to say this. I want to preface this by saying everything I'm saying I've learned from other people as well within my time with this company, within my time at that particular location, right? However, this is just me paying tribute to RJ. So if I say something and it's like, well, I taught you this, yeah, you may have, but this is for RJ. It was it's not for everybody. Hey, trust me. In due time, I'll be thinking so many people, and people will realize that I've always been watching. I've always been acceptive and receptive of any knowledge or anything that been thrown my way where I can be better. So with that being said, I want to say this. I started in the company. When you get a job, man, you just get a job, right? You just get a job. When I got this job, I just wanted to be able to have a little money in my pocket, you know what I'm saying, pay my bills, and my daughter asked for something in the Dollar General or the toy store, I didn't have to put it in the cart and put it back later on, as we walk. You know how you stay in Walmart like an extra 30 minutes with your kid because you can't afford what they want. Sometimes they fall asleep, or they get sidetracked, so you toss it away. Y'all don't know. All right, whatever. Maybe I'm the only broke person in the world, right? But I didn't like that feeling. So I got this job. I was like, all right, just as long as I can, stay, keep my nose clean. Not that I play with nose candy. I'm just that's a figure of speech. Nose clean is this figure of speech. I just wanted to get to work, do my job, and go home. That was my mentality. Get to work, do my job, go home. They scheduled me 7 to 4. I come in at 7, take my break at 11 or 12, depending on the day. Come back in 60 minutes and leave at 4 o'clock and go home. That's when I came to the company when I started. Those were my goals. That was my big three. Anybody that worked with me know what I'm referencing, but that was my big three. You know what I'm saying? Come to work, do my job, go home. That was my big three. Anyway, so uh, to start the story off, right? So it's a spot in where I work called customer service, right? It's a danger zone. Like you don't want to go up there if you don't know what you're doing, right? This not a place you want to go and come to work, do your job, and go home. It ain't gonna happen up there. It ain't gonna happen. So, because I was just a regular cashier when I first started, just seasonal. Didn't even know what that meant. Didn't know that I was gonna lose my job if I didn't get a permanent position with the company within a certain amount of time. Didn't know. I thought I had a job forever because they hired me, right? Anyway, one day RJ, he's walking by. He said, "Hey, when do y'all go to customer service?" It's me and another woman named Sanchezia, who actually trained me my first couple of days in the company. And She's like, oh, Jermaine said he'll go. All right, cool. My first time really seeing RJ. At the time, he's like a ghost to me because I would see him but not see him. I'm like, all right. So I go up there. It's hard. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why I gotta like? It was so different from cashiering that job was just hard. I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is crazy. I want to be over here with the women, flirt, play, and, just come to work, do my job, and go home. This seemed like too much. It seemed like I just can't do them three things if I'm over here. I gotta do extra stuff. I gotta, not get mad. I gotta be professional. I gotta call people every 5 minutes because this person don't want to just take no for an answer. It's company policy for an answer. You had to do too much. I'm like, I ain't really signed up for all this, bro. Like, I want to just chill. But he would come back. He taught me some things, a couple of times, and he was like, "You doing good? You doing good?" All right, take it from there. So I said to say that was my first introduction with him, like me doing something I really didn't want to do, but him like guiding and saying like, just do this or just do this for now. Just only do these. Made it simple for me. Very, very complicated task driven job, but he made it simple for me. Okay, cool. I started getting the hang of it, I get better, I get better. Cool. That's when other people come into play that has taught me things, and they taught me some stuff. Cool. But to give it to RJ, right? RJ's a funny guy, right? So I want to talk about him. He's a funny guy. He's funny for multiple reasons, right? One, when he wants to help you, you're gonna know, right? And when he doesn't want to help you, he don't want to help you, you also gonna know. And I don't mean don't want to help as in like F you, get the hell on. I'm also like, I done showed you this a few times now, right? You shouldn't even be calling me to ask me about this. This is what RJ taught me, right? And I take this everything I'm doing. He taught me something like teaching, right? Like I know this. I know this stuff like the back of my hand. I know this, right? I'm gonna challenge myself by teaching you this. First, I'm gonna teach it, walk you through it. You're gonna call me, say you need me, I'm gonna walk you through it to the point where then you're gonna call me, and now I'm not gonna walk you through. I'm actually gonna blow you the hell off. I'm gonna blow you off because you should know it, which is gonna force you to either one, remember this stuff, and so you don't have to call me every time, or just leave me alone. Call somebody else that mind's wasting their time and time again, teaching the same thing over and over again. I learned that very quickly with him. Some people might say that comes off as assholish, right? Granted, I would say in management, you need a certain level of assholish about yourself. Like if that's a word, I hope it's I don't know, I'm making words up right now. It's all good. You need a level of that because people will try you, and you have that little dash of assholeness is what makes people don't try you or don't call you or don't try to get over on you sometimes. And I think knowing that about them, uh, it made people not want to call him so much. But he knew so much you had to, so you had to either take in information he was giving you or don't call him, right? So moving on from there, but teaching, and I say he told me teaching because one thing I'll do, and I remember I left that same location, and they had like a little ceremony thing for me because I had been there for a long time, all right. And one of the things somebody said, Monique said, she was like, the main one thing I like about Jermaine the most was when you ask him something, he would stop and teach you, and I got that from RJ. It was like he would stop and teach you. He would talk to you over the phone about it. Like his teaching was immaculate to me at the pace the company ran back at that point. So you learn so much through a person like that who has a million things to do. And also he was, so people call me Mr. Fix-It, right? That's the thing they call me Mr. Fix-It. You my Mr. Fix-It. You everybody Mr. Fix-It. That's who he was. He was a Mr. Fix-It for any and everybody. Whether you worked in the back of the store, left side of the store, right side of the store, front of the store, middle of the store, on the roof, he didn't like it was no part of the store he just didn't know. And I yearned to have that kind of knowledge, not just in the company, just in general. Like I say thank you, RJ, and thank you helping because I look at what I do outside of work, whether it's podcasting, this stuff right here, right? So I've been thinking about doing this, I'm doing it, right? So I start to learn things. So you got Slim who might teach me this camera stuff and audio stuff. I soak it in. I probably wouldn't have that trait wasn't for RJ like teaching me this, teaching me that, and not want to continue to ask somebody the same thing over and over and over and over again. So I took that outside of that work. One thing about RJ is, don't get me wrong. Now, I wasn't always like the greatest associate. I think I done well, but I wasn't always the greatest associate. He pushed a lot. He pushed me to be great. Like, and also didn't care. Like, didn't care if it was something I didn't want to do per se, but he would. He didn't like drag me around like that. But like, it's Wednesday. Come on, we got the drinks. Like, fuck, my back hurt from last Wednesday getting these drinks. We got a whole blue cart full of Pepsis and Mountain Dews and all these other drinks. I gotta climb up the ladder and put it up. But it also taught me something. It's like structure. So on Wednesday, be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Wednesday, be prepared because that's what we're gonna do. Structure, pre-planning, right? He taught me a lot of things. Um, One thing people that watch this and they know how I am now, and they watching and they work at a company I work for, I have worked for. This is one thing I think he's taught me a lot about was I was like, I had that big three. I wanted to come to work, do my job, go home. That third one was super important. Or the going home part was like the best part of my day, right? On nights I would close with RJ. Anybody know how closing in retail is like you you work hard and you think you'll get up at 10:30. And it was times it'd be 11:45, I'm still there with RJ. Why? Why you ask? I'm glad you asked. Why? Above and beyond, wanting to go above and beyond, wanting to do extra stuff, wanting to do other stuff also because he's off the next day, wanting to make sure certain things was done because I'm off the next 2 days. Once again, back to that pre-planning, that preparation, that drive to like, I want to make sure I have my 2 days off. So I'm gonna do everything I gotta do. If that means staying over, cool. But he would show me things that he's staying over. Like, this is what you want to do this, you want to do that. So when I'm working and I work with people, anybody tell you, I always take somebody with me and I'm walking around, I'm showing them stuff. And that's not one particular person I do. I do it with everybody because I feel like that helped me a lot. I didn't like staying. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to go home. I wanted to come to work, do my job, and go home. Trust me, the go home part was important. But, you know, he did this stuff without complaining, without being told to. Like, it wasn't like somebody he got a call at 9:15 and said, "Hey, don't forget you gotta do this. Don't forget you gotta do that. Don't forget you gotta do that." No, this stuff he just knew. He just some stuff he just nominated himself to do. Hey, Brad, let's do this. Oh my God, Brad. Let me tell you, let me tell you about this. The motherfucker made my name. The motherfucker made my last name a nickname. Like, he didn't. My name already hard enough to say as it is for most people. No, he didn't stop there. He knew how to say my name. He didn't choose to call me Maine or Dra. You know, Bobby wasn't a thing at the time. He chose to make my last name a nickname. He shortened my. I've never seen where somebody just make their last name a nickname. On ESPN, First Take, whatever you watch, they will call Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever his name is, Antetokounmpo, whatever his name is. They say the whole name. And that's a long fucking name, right? But they say the whole name. He gave my nickname. He gave my last name a nickname. But regardless of that, he just his drive what he knew. Like, so I want to get into something I learned from him that wasn't like the greatest things too, right? Something I learned from him, like, I feel like when you looking at somebody or you watching somebody, you kind of live vicariously through them, but you learn from their mistakes and some of their wins. So once again, I say RJ was very, very smart. Is very, very smart. I watched where that possibly could have hindered him from moving further, right? And I say that because I think there was no reason why he couldn't do the job. He could do the job. There was nothing he couldn't do. He fit the part by far because the people that was in them parts didn't know half the shit RJ knew. I think it was a thing of sometimes having to dumb yourself down, and I don't think he was ever going to be willing, and isn't even today. Like, I don't think he's ever willing to dumb himself down or dim his light to make somebody else feel more of a man or more in charge. And I seen where we had certain leaders, quote unquote, in our building or in our store or whatever, that didn't take kind to that. They didn't take kind to this young black man knowing what he know and challenging me on certain things when I'm supposed to be in charge. And I saw where that kind of I ain't gonna say hinder him, but I saw a shift in uh, a push of him moving to another level, right? And I always looked at that, so okay, cool. So sometimes you gotta pick, how you gonna play, how you gonna play these games, and even knowing it's a game, not knowing it's a game. When I started, one thing about Arthur, he pushed me 100%. When I started, I was like I said, I was a regular CSA. You know what I'm saying? Just come to work, do my job, go home. Then I became a head cashier. He told me to apply for that. He pushed me for that. All right, cool. Still do my job, go to work, come to work, do my job, and go home. But do my job part start to be a little, heavier because you in a leadership role. Um, Push me to move up even further than that. It's like just the pushing part also like always giving me them not motivational speeches, but just him knowing I got a degree in criminal justice. Hey man, but you got a LP position if you want to apply for it. Me getting knowledge before knowledge was out. Like he helped me in so many ways that um, something I'm just realizing right now that he helped me, learn and do. Being privy to information, hey, they doing this, so just watch out when you're doing that. It's a lot of things that he taught me. His loyalty to people, I felt like unmatched as well. Whether somebody's on up and up or the downside, like he was, if he rock with you, he rock with you. It's just plain and simple. If he don't, he don't, right? But one thing I like about him too is I get this from him too with work wise and outside of work. Like I told myself today, I wanted to record. Right, I'm tired. I just finished inventory, 60 hours in 4 days. Like it's hard. I'm tired. Right, but I think about somebody like RJ. I think about the things that I learned from him. Think about how I watched and things he did. And a lot of times it's like, hey, I gotta do this. Let's go ahead and do it now. Like that attitude. Let's go ahead and do it now. So people will tell you sometimes like it's hard to talk to me sometimes because they'll say they thinking about doing this, they thinking about doing that, and I'm quick to say, go ahead and do it now. What you waiting on? Go ahead and do it now. That was the attitude he had at the time. Like his thing was, let's do it now, get it over with, do it the right way, just in case we don't do it right, we can fix it later on. Why not wait till the last minute? Don't wait till the last minute, then you can't fix nothing. I learned that from him. That was dope. But I say all these things to say like, a version of me now, is heavily influenced by that RJ. And I'm not to say when I say that RJ, I'm not saying as if he just changed 100% now, but people change, people goals change, people energy change, people go through things, they start to see things differently. I'm one who is going through a lot right now, just for things I'm seeing. So you make a decision whether you want to strive for something or you want to fall back and just chill and play your part. I'm not sure what RJ is, scenario is. 'Cause I don't want to speak for him, right? I can just tell you what I think, but I can't speak for him. And I think that when you get played with, when it comes to just your ego, when it comes to your knowledge, what you know, when it comes to your background, your ethnicity, how you look, your appearance, you wearing dreads. When you get played with, a certain amount of times, you just like F it at a certain point. You're like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Your energy is shifted, whatever. I'm gonna just do what I gotta do. I know what I know. I know I'm overqualified for this and that third, you know. And I think that's kind of what happened, but I don't know for sure. I don't want to speak on something I don't know. Um, I do feel like though, you don't get a version of me, myself right now. I don't get this version of myself without the trials and things I learned from RJ working with him. Um, Even now, he still knows more than me. Like I still call him for stuff now because I don't know, but he can drop it down, like just tell you, oh, it's this 6.5 point this 1.5. Like I don't know how you remember all these numbers. Don't get me wrong, I know my stuff now. Don't get me wrong, but I ain't RJ. Like, RJ know his stuff, and yeah, I feel like sometimes people get dealt a bad hand, and I know that, but me also seeing that, I feel like you try to just do with what you got. So I make the best of what I got. So I said I learned a lot from RJ, right? And I said he got a asshole way. People will tell you I'm very much so an asshole, very much so an asshole. I don't know if I've always been that way. I don't want to say, "Oh, thank you, RJ, for making me an asshole." I'm not I don't want to say that, but I definitely say, I learned from him that there are times when you just can't please everybody. There are times where you are gonna have to give people tough love. There are times where you have to, as a member of management, when you gotta like not hold somebody's hand. And RJ is good for that. Anybody tell you, you could just tell when he wants to help you when he don't, and he'll hold your hand for so long, and then he won't no more. It's like you and your own. Like you'll know when he want to help you. He'll like, and I'm the same way. Like when I want to talk to somebody, anybody tell you I want to talk, be on the phone 10, 15, 20 minutes. Oh, I'm talking, I'm talking, I'm talking. And then you got days where I ain't saying shit. I'm just not. I'm not in the mood. I'm not saying nothing. That's RJ for you, man. Like it's days where he will go above and beyond to show you this, show you that. I'm gonna help you with this. All right, give me a second. And then it's time when he ain't got time for you. He don't have time for you. I am. I can honestly say that has never been the case with me, but I've seen him do it to a lot of people. But he has never done it to me, and I definitely appreciate him for that. I've never felt like he just didn't want to help me. He's always stopped what he did, what he was doing. Don't know why, like whatever the reason why, I'm happy for it. But I don't know why. I don't know why he even took a liking to me to show me some of the things. Because like I said, without him, I'd probably just still be at the customer service desk right now. I had no goals to do nothing but just come to work, do my job, and go home. You know, now I come to work. I'm staying later. I go above and beyond. I'm teaching and training people. I'm working on days I probably ain't gotta work just to help this and help that out. Like things I seen him do, just do it. But I saw that first. I saw it first through him. You know, I saw him no more than people around him, no more than people that make more money than him. I saw that with how professional he was. I saw how he was able to get me or another associate out of a situation because he knew just a little more about the system. But I also watched. I also took notes. I also, um, but at the same time, being a fan, also wanted to emulate that at some point. So how he ran that front, the walking back and forth, doing this, doing that, the paperwork, the staying a little later. Not like he's the first person I ever seen like it's 8 o'clock, 8:30. You like, did you get up at 7? Yeah, I'm just doing this, that, and third. Now with the attitude though. Like not like, yeah, I'm trying to get up out of here, da da da. Da. None of that. Just like chill. Like, yeah, I'm still here. It's 8:30, doing people ask me the time I work, they're like, what time you get off when the job's done? Of course, I'm salary now, so it's different, you know what I'm saying? But still, like that was him. Like he was doing them workers that like he took pride in what he did. He did it at a very, very uh high level. Um a teacher of teachers. And then just him looking out, like he cared about people. Like he cared about you to the point he asked you stuff like and stuff that he knows that you're into, whether it be my brother, whether it be family, whether it be anything. Um, Definitely got to give a shout out to him. I don't think like my managing style, um, how I came up my managing style, whether it was the head cashier up front, whether it was stuff I do outside, where I work at, whether it was because managing is parenting as well, like all of that, just having that sense of humor, having uh that knowledge, uh not just withholding that knowledge, giving that knowledge out to the people, teaching somebody, knowing when not to teach them, knowing when they not paying attention. So like, I gotta show you now. Let me fall back. I'm gonna look like an asshole, but it's okay. Being okay with looking like an asshole or being okay with being an asshole. Like I've always been a nice person. I never really been. You know what? Fuck it, we gonna blame RJ, man. Shout out. Let me clap it up. No, I got a mute button. We gonna blame RJ, man. Blame RJ for that. Cause I actually used to be like, damn, why you being an asshole for? I get it now, RJ. I 100% get it now, and I get it from you. So shout out to you for that, man. But in all seriousness, like I said, even when I left the company, like when I left that location though, um, I remember how emotional it was for me, for people in the room. That was hard to try to hold in. Even seeing him, whether it be getting emotional, this, that, and third, like he taught me a lot of stuff. Like, and over the years, like I just wrote it down. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, not just him, but a very, very heavy influence on the way he was able to attack work, his position, his knowledge, what he knew about the company, how he could help certain customers on the floor without getting flustered, um, taking up for your associates when he's taking up for. It was so many attributes to him that I just yearned for at that time. And I think over time I gained and learned. Don't get me wrong. Once again, you live vicariously through people. So it's also his faults that I was like, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna change that. I may, I'm big for this. I may know something is the answer, and somebody bigger than me or whatever may tell me to answer something different. I'm okay with that. I'm not changing my answer, but I'm not gonna make make it a big deal to tell you that you're wrong. Because I don't want you to feel no way. I'm not saying that Arjun did that. I'm just telling you that's me. It's a lot of things that I did learn from that. I just like I didn't want to take that portion of it. Never want to be too loyal. It just work. So you don't be too loyal to nobody because at the end of the day, I see some wild stuff happen. You know, um, but yeah, with RJ, man, it's just different breed of person, different breed of working, different work ethic, different all across the board. Still to this day, I don't think I've seen anybody like that. Like, and I go places and I work, different stores and stuff like that, whether I'm in Columbia or on the Augusta side, haven't ran across another RJ yet. Just and I'm not saying he was the hardest working, like far as going to actually physically move some stuff, but as far as walking around, doing this, that, and the third, like just knowing the communication sent out, knowing who to call, who to email, knowing just knowing and being able to spread that knowledge, I thought was top tier. And I always want to be a teacher of sort and be taught. So I said to say, man, I want to end it soon. I said to say, like, my place in the company that whatever you want to say I'm at right now, whether it's just with hypo this or whatever, future store manager, whatever you want to call it, I don't get none of that without that that knowledge I've gotten from RJ, watching RJ do what he do on work. And sometimes it work that way. Sometimes like you need an RJ to kind of get a Jermaine per se, right? Or Brad, as he may call me. You need that. I needed that person. I needed to see that to be this. I needed to see that example. I needed to see that work ethic. I needed to see that that knowledge being given, as well as I needed to see things not to do. I needed to see how you don't do certain things, and he showed me that as well. I needed to see that in order to be what I am now. So I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you, RJ, definitely, and anybody who helped me in the company. But thank you, RJ, definitely for everything you taught me, everything I know. Um, definitely, probably if I had to pick, a teacher at the company I work at, you definitely would. I would definitely say that you taught me the most. Probably my favorite teacher, so to speak. Um, Managed me amazingly. Always looked out. I mean, I don't think it's nothing that really didn't do for me. Everything you did was really just out of I see this in you. I know what you could be. And even the times you was mad or upset, whether it was company driven, you didn't tell me not to do nothing. You didn't get upset and then be like, don't do this. Like you always still push me. Like F how things going for me right now. You do this, man. Always congratulating me. Like always reaching out. If you hear some good news, you always call me and say, yo, congratulations. Like you rarely find that. Most times it's competition. Most times it's people feeling a certain way. Never got that from you ever. So definitely shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Thank you, RJ. Thanks.